And welcome back to The Dish with Chase and Ben. My name is Chase.
I am Ken.
Yo.
Kenny G.
Better.
For gangster.
That's it. I'm pretty sure
For
that's
Guadalupe.
That's your people's stuff. What's her name? Our Lady of Guadalupe Sorrows?
Sure.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Chadwick, you're not wearing your Christmas uniform.
I know, it's in the wash machine. I dropped the ball today.
I'm not wearing my Christmas uniform because you're not, and I can't stand that hoodie. Go
I
ahead.
I was doing a light Christmas shopping today, and I forgot to do the laundry.
It happens, it's Christmas time. Christmas time.
We still got this bad boy behind us. We
It's so
we got
nice.
this guy on my... Nope, it's this way. On my left here.
Small cretin.
Stage right, my left.
That is stage left.
Shh.
Okay. I think it's fitting that we're not wearing our Christmas outfits because we watched, it's a Christmas movie, but it's also a spooky movie.
Yeah.
I think it's mainly a spooky movie, but
It's very this movie is really festive though.
it is. It's camp,
Yeah.
it's Christmas,
They do
it's
a lot.
fashion.
They do a lot for the holiday, which is why I love it so much.
For sure. I was happy we got to do it.
I do like this movie better than Red Christmas. Red Christmas is a really good movie, but this
For
one
sure.
is definitely better by like a long shot.
For sure. This week we watched the magnum opus, Black Xmas. It was Black Xmas versus Red Christmas. Black Xmas won by like a lot.
A landslide.
Also, we need to talk about this for a second because for a minute, and I remember this being it because when we watched it the first time together, like a minute ago, everywhere it said it was Black Xmas. Black Xmas,
Right,
Black Xmas.
right,
It was
right.
always Xmas because it's a remake. So they named it Black Xmas because it's a remake of Black Christmas.
Right.
When we were like researching for this episode and we were like doing a bunch of like our note taking and stuff, everywhere it said it was Black Christmas.
Right.
And I'm like,
yeah.
that is not correct. Because according to the encyclopedia,
It's true.
it's still Black Xmas.
I mean, to me, I'm running with what's on the cover of the movie. On the cover of the movie, it says Black Xmas.
and that's
like,
all that
yeah.
matters. Oh, your little piggies are out.
I feel like my brother went to see this movie in theaters. I don't know if I did or not, but I know that my brother did.
Should we call Anthony really
yeah,
quick?
right now we should call him.
I
If
have
I'm
his phone
wrong,
number
he'll tell
today.
me, so it's fine.
Very quickly. Is
Yeah.
he a listener of the pod?
He is, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Hi, Anthony. That's so cool. I love that.
Anyways, yeah. So this movie
Hoozles.
is one of my top favorite Christmas horror movies. There's a lot out there, honestly.
I would say it's my number one favorite Christmas horror movie because it's the only one I've ever seen.
that Krampus movie that came out was actually pretty good.
Krampus.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Is it Krampus or Krampus?
I have no idea.
Krampus?
It's
He like
Germany.
Krumps?
It's Deutschland, so I'm not sure.
I mean, if it's German, it's Krampus.
Then there you go. Cramps.
Cramps. If I had a grandfather anymore, I'd call him Cramps.
If I was a grandfather, I would call myself Cramps.
Oh. And all your grandkids would be like, Grandpa, you're so stupid.
Hey.
Hey. We're watching Black Xmas, everybody. This movie came out in 2006.
Yes,
A beautiful year for horror. Honestly, the 2000s are some of my favorite horror movies came out during that time. Because you have really serious ones and really not serious ones. And
I
they're
agree.
great.
They're really dated.
They're dated,
Yeah,
but
there's a
in like a
specific
nostalgic, like nice way.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this water has given me a little too much bubbly guts, and I'm happy these
Well, you have to
microphones
drink it
don't
all
pick 'em
because
up.
Evelyn was nice enough to let you
I know. I
drink it.
texted Nev and
You
I
have to
said,
drink
can
the
I have one of
whole
your
thing."
waters? Should I chug it right now?
Yeah.
Like that one guy where he goes, "Bah."
Yeah.
If anyone's seen that TikTok, it's really funny.
It's true.
This movie is an hour and 32 minutes long because it's a horror movie and it's incredible.
A cool hour and 30.
Boom, 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 baby. And it is streaming on Tubi like every fucking other movie in the world. Tubi has literally everything. I swear to you, our viewers, season 3, we're getting a Tubi sponsorship.
I swear to God.
My lips to God's ears, dude. I would love that.
That's one of the only apps that I want a sponsorship from, honestly.
It's the only app that matters. Come on now.
God, Tubi. Do you know that?
Or
You know
not
what?
Tubi.
Actually, I was actually just told and shown on my phone that the founder of Tubi is from Michigan. Obviously.
See?
Like, no, like, of course.
Like, duh.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't know that
That's
to begin
so
with.
funny.
But yeah, she's from Michigan.
Why we didn't know that?
Go ahead,
Come on.
girl.
Go ahead, girl.
She's doing good. Yeah.
A summary of Black Xmas is as follows. On Christmas Eve, an escaped... Oh, my God. I'm not wearing my glasses, as you all can tell.
Mine?
I don't think it would work that way. Right. On Christmas Eve, an escaped maniac returns to his childhood home, which is now a sorority house, and begins to murder the sorority sisters one by one. This just shows that I really need glasses. That was so hard to do. What's your relationship to this movie, Chadwick? When's the first time you watched it?
I probably watched it close to that time period with my brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't know if I saw it in theaters. I think he did. I'm pretty sure. But we watched countless movies in my mom's basement together. And Anthony, his like role out of brothers was like, I never chose movies to watch. That was not like... Not because he was like controlling, but because I would have a hard time. I mean, I do this still. I have a really hard time finding a movie to watch.
Yes.
He does not. Like, he's like
That's
very
awesome.
good at like finding that movie that's like good for like the exact time that you're like whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
And like, or he'll be like, his other talent, I feel like with that is that like, he'll be like, let's just watch this like random movie that we've never thing, and it's like like incredible. Literally the best. It's like, yeah, I don't know how that happens all the time. Even when he like moved out of the house, and I would go over to his house, and like he would live with Mike and everybody else. Like we would just sit on the couch, and then he would put something on, and it was like, how was this not on before?
That's so.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know why. I don't know how he does that. He's like a DJ, but for movies. It's crazy.
That's
like
so
it's
sick.
yeah. It's a good talent to have. I wish I had that
He
talent.
has never recommended something that I didn't thoroughly enjoy. Books,
Same
movies.
Yeah, he's a valid
everything.
source of information,
Dude.
Yeah.
Oh, I love your brother.
Which is always good. You know, hey, I love him too. But yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, girl. The first time I watched this movie was, I mean, within the past 3 years, and you showed it to me.
Yeah, right, yeah.
I don't know if we watched it last Christmas or not. I feel like we had to have watched it during a Christmas time.
Probably.
You know what? This might have been in the bowl, the random bowl that we were doing for movies.
Most likely, yes.
I think we talked about this because this actually kind of started our conversation about having a podcast.
Yeah.
We were always trying to figure out like what movies we wanted to watch because, as we just talked about, we're not very decisive when it comes to picking out movies.
There's just so many.
Especially your collection.
I
have an okay collection of movies. Like my digital collection is pretty good.
Let me make sure that I can give you some of these people an accurate number.
I was going to say, I'll pull up mine.
In fact,
number too.
it's actually not even...
You have definitely gotten a lot of movies since
say,
then. You need to update it.
But last time we checked, let's see what we got going on. So we have an app that's called iCollect. It's actually really cool if anybody collects anything, really. I think you can log into anything that you want.
Yeah, it's really any collection.
Yeah.
Stuff. There has to be an easier way for me to have this
So
list.
DVDs and Blu-rays, I have 691 of them as from the last time we checked.
Oh
I probably have
gosh.
gotten, like, realistically, I've probably gotten 15 to 20 more.
That's insane.
Yeah. Anthony has over 1,000, I think, which is like... He has that app, too, because
That's so sick. I remember, I think I might have told you about that app. It's not like I knew about it, but I was like, there has to be an app about this.
I was going to say, I think we were like, there has to be an app, and then we looked, and then you found that one, and then we just did.
Yeah.
And then you pay like $10 one time.
Yeah.
And then it's...
And it like unlocks ad-free, yada, yada. Talk about it for a second, because I need to pick...
Yeah, there's no ads.
Movies.
I think what it does is that you can... I'm pretty sure, if memory serves correctly, I'm pretty sure that you can log in as many as 50 to 100 items, and then it is like, okay, you have a lot of shit. You got to pay $10 so that like you can actually use this. So we got like 50 to 100 movies in, and then it was like, hey, you got to pay this, which is honestly really good strategy as a business, because like we already logged in 50 to 100 movies. I'm not about to just be like, well, too bad, I'm going to pay $10 so I can, like, I'm already gone this far. That's so many movies. Do you remember on this table, everybody that's watching, not listening, but the table that we're sitting at, it's probably realistically, it's probably 10 feet long. So, like, this table was full of DVDs, like, full of them when we were logging them in. It was crazy. It took 3 nights, I think, when we did that. Didn't it take 3 nights? Yeah.
Yeah, it was wild.
Yeah, you got to, like, it's crazy. But the cool thing is with stuff like that, or even books and stuff, you can just scan the barcode and then it, like, finds it right away. It's really cool. I have a reading app like that for my books, too, and you do that same thing as you just hit it with a barcode. I believe that one's called Reading List, and that one is free. If anybody wants to log in their books, I really like that app a lot, honestly.
Jesus Christ, that took forever. I own 199 movies digitally.
That's not bad.
It's
Digitally.
not.
Okay, yeah.
It's not. That was exhausting. Holy cow. The only thing I don't like is I think on my iPad, they're all downloaded to my iPad because I think I have a terabyte iPad.
Sure.
So I just keep them all downloaded on there. So if I'm traveling, I have like my entire movie collection. So if I'm like
That's
on
a good
plane
idea.
or something,
Yeah, that's a good
it's
idea.
nice. I want to get an iPad mini and solely have it for movies, but I have over.
Can you put them on a USB drive or no?
It's tough. There's ways of doing it, but when they're in iTunes, it's hard to get things
Sure.
out of iTunes
Oh,
because
I
it's
see.
like piracy laws. You can't like burn them to a disc
Pirate.
and then like watch them, even though you own the
Have
title.
you ever watched the show Black Sails on
No,
Hulu? I
don't
barber Derek recommended it, and he said it was really good.
He's also a person to respect the
He's
recommendations.
pretty
of,
solid
so.
at that too. Yeah. He likes good stuff. He's
I
got
just
good
don't know
taste.
about
He has exquisite taste.
I'd say so. I mean, this is his work, so.
I actually did get my haircut today.
You got your haircut today, and I fixed the chip in my windshield. By fix the chip in my windshield, I mean
patched it.
They barely patched it, and it still is so
Safe
annoying.
light repair.
Safe light replace. They should have replaced the damn thing.
Anyways,
Back to what we're doing here.
fun facts of the day.
I start. You.
I
start
just said
the
the
fun
word.
Facts. Start the fun facts.
no, because I
would you?
can't pronounce that person's last name.
Okay, I'll start.
It's absurd.
No, it's not. It's because I'm a Disney Channel kid. Just try it. Try it out.
Michelle T.
Michelle T.
Hold on, let me try it.
Put your glasses on. It'll help you pronounce it better.
Hold on. Okay. Michelle Trachtenberg.
Very close. Michelle Trachtenberg.
Whatever.
It's a k, not a ch. Trachtenberg.
Ew. Go
Something
ahead.
like that.
You can say it better then.
Okay, now I have to see if I can read it.
She plays a sorority girl.
Michelle Trachtenberg is
Yeah.
an actor in this movie. Michelle Trachtenberg became interested in serial killers during production, would often do research on them while on breaks. So this movie is obviously a serial killer movie. Michelle Trachtenberg, funny enough, got her start in like Disney Channel movies and stuff, and then she like started branching off and got into a little crazier stuff. And she just started like really getting into serial killers, which honestly, it's quite the rabbit hole to fall
It's
down.
fascinating.
I would say in my early 20s, I was really interested in serial killers and stuff. There's this podcast called Last Podcast on the Left.
Yeah, it's a good
and they
podcast.
talk about a lot of serial killers. I listened to one about Ted Bundy, and I never knew anything about Ted Bundy.
Really?
And then I learned everything I know now about Ted Bundy from that podcast.
The thing about that podcast that I really like is that they really know their facts.
oh yeah, just like us. Come on.
No, and there's another one that like a lot of people will like. It's called My Favorite Murder or My Favorite
Yes.
Murder.
Yes.
It's like it's a funny podcast. They
Yeah.
don't know what the hell is going on. They don't have
Sometimes like us.
yeah, but you don't get to do that with that kind of stuff. I don't
like
think
when you're
that's,
talking
like,
about
you
real people
they're
and like
it's a
factual,
factual information.
like yeah, like events.
Like,
you need
yeah.
to have something a little bit.
I don't
more
think
figured
people
out here.
listen to that podcast for that though, which is understandable.
Yeah.
but still, it's just I started it. I liked it. It was funny,
I think it's tough.
but it's like I need to know. Like you're not like giving me enough. Yeah, but
Well,
it's fine.
I listen to a lot of different podcasts with a lot of different people on them, and a lot of times they'll speak with a lot of authority about things they know nothing about.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is ridiculous, and you need to like. I'm not about fake news. I think that's like a hilarious, disgusting, annoying thing that
Sure.
happened in our lifetime. But like, you really need to just fact check yourself for a
Right,
second,
yeah.
and like, do not speak from a place of authority on something you don't know anything about.
I agree.
That's just kind
I
of where I'm
agree.
at with that. But yeah, Michelle Trachtenberg, OG.
Yeah.
Go ahead, girl.
There's actually they have a sanitarium in this movie. In the movie, it's called Clark Sanitarium.
Yeah.
which is cool because Bob Clark is the director of the original Black Christmas, which came out in '74.
That's wild.
Yeah, and that's just a play like a homage to him. I think it's
Yeah.
not like anything like
That I think is the proper time before you remake something. Because like people are remaking
agree.
movies within like 10 to 20 years, and it's like you need to relax.
I also think that there is a there should be qualifications, in my opinion, like for you to remake a movie.
Yeah.
Like for example, like if the movie was a really good movie, but at the time the technology was just not quite there yet to make it like as good of a, or like maybe let me rephrase, to make it like the actual like artistic image of the person that made that movie back
Yeah.
then, and now you can actually make it exactly how it really envisioned it because of technology. Totally.
Well, and
Totally.
that's the thing.
100%.
Because funny enough, this kind of leads me to my thing. I think not necessarily a remake, but anytime when you're going back into an already established like set of movies or lore or anything like that, case in point, like the newest Matrix movie. I did not quite enjoy the newest Matrix movie. I
didn't like it at all.
I had a hard time with it. I think it takes a couple watches to really get into it. But the Wachowskis directed it. They wrote it.
Sure.
They were all about it. And it was their movie. And I was like, you know what? I can't get as bummed because this is where they wanted the movie to go.
Sure.
So I'm like, I get it. This is how the story goes. They didn't like... they didn't like poorly rip it off. Like
Sure.
nothing happened
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
It kind of felt like that. But like this was where they wanted the story to go. All they had was time and money.
Right. No, I get that.
So they did exactly what they wanted. And I get that, which kind of leads me to my next fun fact here. Glenn Morgan, the director of Black Xmas, was good friends with Bob Clark, the director of the original Black Christmas. He received his blessing to direct the film, and Bob Clark remained on set as an executive producer, and Clark managed to watch the remake before he passed away. So he passed away before the movie came out, but they had a cut available for him, and he got to watch it.
That's cool.
So I think that's cool. It's kind of like this is the story he wants to be doing. This is the story he wants to be putting out.
Yeah.
This is like he was there. He supported it. He had his blessing, and they made what he approved.
Yeah.
And I like that.
It's his image. In a
Yeah.
sense, yeah.
Something I do have an issue with, the Halloween trilogy that they just came out with. Halloween, Halloween Kills, Halloween Ends.
Yeah, those are my least favorite ones.
Halloween is good.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
I really enjoyed
okay.
it. I thought it was refreshing. Halloween Kills was okay. It's a little harder. Halloween Ends, absolute fucking garbage fire.
It was trash.
You can't
Trash.
kill him.
No.
You can't kill Michael Myers. Who are you to now end this and no one else can use him now?
Yeah. I
Like, you
agree.
can't do that.
It just seemed a little ridiculous.
It was ridiculous. And honestly, like, what a lame way for him to die.
I know.
All the townspeople just, like, gather up his body and throw him in a wood chipper.
They Freddy Kruegered him, dude.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
Yeah, they Freddy Kruegered
It's
him.
bullshit.
I thought it was absurd, too, but
I had a hard time
I
with
did
it.
like Rob Zombies, though. Oh, that was sweet.
Everyone shits on them.
love
They're
them.
so good.
Yeah, they're sweet.
I thought it was so interesting. And it was
and
so
they're,
cool.
they're totally like his take on it. So I'm
He has a very distinct style, and I thought it really lent to someone who is just pure evil.
yeah. I agree.
I thought it was really good.
It was great. Yeah.
I love Michael Myers is my favorite. The Halloween movies are my favorite. We've talked about this many times. But yeah, dude, it makes me really happy. Back at you.
Okay. Glenn Morgan.
Glenn Morgan.
Glenn Morgan approached Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Winstead.
It's Winstead. Who is that?
She plays Ramona Flowers. She plays Homegirl from Sky High. She
Ramona,
plays
yeah.
Hera.
I don't think that she. Never mind. He approached her about the movie at 4 a.m. in an airport.
That'd be shitty.
Yeah, after finishing Final Destination 3, which are great movies, obviously.
Oh, she's in Final Destination 3.
Yeah, and he did that with her.
Yes.
After being hesitant at first because she just finished a horror movie, she agreed to it because she actually really liked the original movie. She was like an actual fan, which is cool. Yeah.
Honestly, I think that's why I appreciate this movie so much, because like everyone who was a part of it was like jazzed about it. They were
It's a good
excited to
movie.
make it. It's
Yeah,
a really
he
good
did a really
movie.
good job, and yeah, I feel like it holds water next to the old one, which is cool.
Definitely.
You know, and I think too, like going back for a second, like, you know, remaking movies too. I don't necessarily believe that like technology makes a good movie either. Sometimes
Not
movies that are
necessarily.
old stay better.
Yeah.
You don't have you making it like that's what's so. You have to be really careful about remaking movies because, like, some older movies don't need the technology.
No.
In fact, the technology might actually ruin the movie a little
Might
bit more.
hinder it a little bit. Yeah.
We rely a lot on AI now. We don't rely on physical effects. And a lot
It's
of times, like, it just is atrocious. It just doesn't look right. And I think a lot... It's like all the shark movies after Jaws.
Ugh.
It's not the same. You know, other than Deep Blue Sea. That's a fantastic movie. I fucking love that movie.
I refuse.
I love that movie. Yeah, anyways. So,
Any hoozles.
yeah, go ahead.
So we kind of cut this movie up in 3 parts, as we usually do, just to kind of help us kind of, communicate what's going on. I'm going to kind of ski. I'm going to kind of skate through this a little bit quicker, and then we'll kind of like mention our favorite parts throughout it. But so part 1 of the movie, it's Christmas Eve at the Alpha Kappa Gamma sorority house. We meet a character, Lauren.
Alpha Kappa Gamma.
Woo!
Woo!
They have great barbecues, I heard.
Oh.
We meet a character, Lauren, who hears strange noises in her closet. Turns out it's nothing. And another character, Claire, is attacked and killed with a pen by an unknown killer.
He wraps her head in a bag and just fucking stabs the crap out of her head.
Vile.
It's gross. Yeah.
Oh,
It's
gosh.
gross.
We then find out there is a killer. His name is Billy Lenz. He escapes from a mental institution while being dressed up as Santa Claus. He basically kills the Santa Claus that is at the mental institution, and he takes his clothes and he dresses up as Santa and runs away. Lauren, Kelly, and other sorority sisters prepare for Christmas. They're decorating the house. They're getting the tree ready. They're kind of exchanging gifts here.
It's a beautiful house.
It really is.
A sweet house.
It's a huge house. Lots of bedrooms,
are
obviously.
huge. Dude, that girl's closet.
It was like 3 closets in one.
It's insane.
That was like my closet at my Amber apartment.
It was. That was my apartment.
Huge.
Yeah.
I sometimes miss that apartment.
It was
Megan,
nice.
I miss living with you sometimes. Now that we're fully removed from it, I miss it.
Now
It'd
that
be
it's
nice.
not a thing anymore at all.
Now that I don't live with you, I miss living with you. Miss Mac, she's the house mother. She starts telling the backstory of Billy. He is a troubled individual with a traumatic past. Sorority sisters receive Secret Santa gifts, and tensions rise. They start giving each other gifts. There's some weirdo, and she gives Mary Elizabeth Winstead a fucking crystal unicorn.
Because
and her reasoning behind it, I can't remember the exact words. What was it?
She goes, I know that you're into like the Bible and stuff.
So here's a unicorn.
She's like, I know you're into that mumbo jumbo.
Stop it.
Here's a.
In my extensive knowledge of the Bible, I've read the book cover to cover, I think 4 or 5 times. I don't think they talk about unicorns in the Bible.
you said that there were.
I thought they did, and then I kept thinking about it. I was like, maybe not. They talk
maybe
about
like
dragons.
maybe like a Pegasus. You know what I'm saying?
Pegasus. No, I don't think so. I really don't know.
Man, it'd be cool if they did.
It would be cool.
You know what I'm saying?
I think
Like
the
Jesus
reasoning is
rode a unicorn into the
the
Jerusalem.
unicorns didn't get on the ark, so then they died in the flood.
Probably that's obviously what
That's
happened.
what happened to all the
obviously.
dinosaurs.
Yeah.
There's
The dinosaurs. How do they not have room for a Tyrannosaurus Rex or a Velociraptor?
It's a
Are you
boat.
kidding me?
they're apex predators. I can't put them on the boat.
Lions and tigers are on there.
Embarrassed. Oh my. I was gonna say something in the movie Fantasia 2000. No, is it Fantasia? Did they do it in Fantasia?
What?
They do. Basically, they have a cartoon version of Noah's Ark, and they're all getting on the Ark.
I don't remember that. I think
I don't know
probably
where
in
this
2000
is.
because I've only seen the original.
I think it's Fantasia 2000, maybe. Nobody quote me on this. But I saw this animated version of Noah's Ark, and like all the animals were getting on the Ark. And then off in the distance, it has like unicorns and woolly mammoths and dragons, and they're all like laughing and pointing, and they're like, haha, this idiot getting in this boat. So it like shows like, yeah, those aren't there anymore because they didn't get on the Ark and they all died.
Okay. Wow.
That's all. I thought it was funny. Fuck my drag, huh? Question about part 1. What is your stance on fraternities and sororities? What do you think about them? What are your opinions on them?
It's complicated. I think that
Neither of us went to a college with sororities or fraternities, so it's not like a thing.
No.
But we've like rubbed elbows with
I feel
sororities
like
and
it
fraternities.
kind of gives you. I think it would give you in a career. It could give you possibly an advantage getting a job,
Yeah.
depending on the type of job it is. If it's corporate, I would
Which
say
I don't
probably.
like.
Well, it's like they want to know that you're a team player. You know, team building skills and activities, extracurricular activities. A lot of times they do like charity and blah 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 blah.
Everything I've heard about specifically fraternities is so negative.
Yeah, I was gonna say the other thing that I don't think is cool though is like the hazing, the bullying,
Yeah.
the pecking order.
Super
a lot
not
of things like
interested in
that just
that.
seem a little bit like arbitrary, a little
Yeah.
childish to me.
I'm an adult.
Yeah, and I think
Like-
it's one of those things where there's like a lot of like alcohol poisoning.
Dude.
a lot of like, rape, a lot of like terrible things that happen.
Really not cool stuff.
Yeah, so I just feel like it's complex. I would never ever join one. I'm not that kind of person. I don't believe in that kind of stuff. I don't want to crap on anybody that has. I just feel like I'm not that kind of person. I'm not a hazer, and I certainly wouldn't want to haze somebody, but I'm not going to allow anyone to haze me either.
Exactly.
So that's not something
in
that's
the past. Yeah.
no. So like that's not something that I have self-respect. So I feel like it's one of those things where like it's one of those things that I think I could see how someone could think that it was a necessary thing for their future, and it might be.
Yeah.
I just feel like for me, I feel like it wouldn't be something that I would be interested in, nor would I want my friends or loved ones to have to experience something like that.
Exactly.
I
did not go to college. I took a semester of classes. That doesn't count. I was accepted to many universities, though.
Like Harvard and Yale?
Once or twice.
Yeah.
The only college that I was accepted that had fraternities was Wayne State. And like I wouldn't have joined one.
Sure, yeah.
Also, I don't know if I would have lived on campus if I went to Wayne State. I would live at my parents' house for free.
Of course.
And commute 15 minutes and go to Wayne State. But all the other colleges that I was going to go to were all Lutheran colleges, and they didn't have sororities or fraternities.
Sure.
Fraternities. I don't know. I mean, it's a sorority movie, but I keep saying I wouldn't have been accepted in the sorority or the fraternity. Sorority.
You'd be the den mother.
I would be such a good den mother.
You'd be called Madam something, right? Like, because you'd have to have that like cool like
Madam. I don't want to be a
mystery.
madam.
Yeah, you'd have to be. It'd be like a brothel.
I'm not running a
You would be.
I don't. In a sorority, I don't like that. I don't like that.
You're
narrative.
I'm gonna just drive you to your dates, make sure that you're safe. Provide transportation and protection.
What kind of protection?
Physical.
Okay, we're done.
Anyways.
We're done. We're done.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm really not into fraternities and sororities.
Yeah, you don't seem like you would be into it at all.
No.
Yeah.
I am like shockingly stubborn to the point when I used to fence, like I would have people would try to like goad me into do something. Like I remember one time we were like running around the block and stuff. This was when my fencing club was in Ferndale. We were like running around like the industrial complex of Ferndale, like on Hilton.
Sure.
Like just between 9 and 8 Mile. No, between 9 and Woodward Heights. Really important details.
Irrelevant. Yeah.
We're like running, and I hated running. I still hate running. I'm a big dude. Running hurts. It's just not. You're not meant to do it for a long time. It's fucking stupid. No, it's unhealthy. There's science to back it. Get off.
Get off it. Get off it.
Get off it. Get off it. Oh, good night. It's bedtime. Basically, like I was running, and this kid on a football team, he was to fence with us. I kicked his ass all the time. I was like running, and my coach is like, "Hey, you have to make sure Ben runs." And I was like, "You're gonna be really disappointed with the outcome of this." So I'm like running, and I got tired, and I was like, "Fuck this, I'm stopping. Like I'm done. I'm good. I fence saber. I don't need fucking like longevity. Okay." So
Stamina.
I'm running. Stamina. Thank you. I'm running. I get over it. I stop. This kid, I think his name is Troy. Bitch. I'm done running. I'm just walking. He starts like pushing me to get me to run. So I walk slower. He then puts his fist in the middle of my back and starts running. I start dragging my feet. He then just gets so upset and he's like, "Fuck this." And he leaves. And I was like, "Yeah, I won that." I was like 12 or 13.
Sure.
Don't force me to do shit.
Stubborn
I'm not going to
ass.
do it. I'm a very self-motivated person for a lot of things. The minute you try to force me to do something, I'm like, cool. Even if I had a plan to do this and I was going to kick ass at it, now it's out the window.
Come on.
It's a horrible, horrible character flaw.
Toxic trait.
It is one of my few toxic traits.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, sororities, fraternities, nuh-uh.
Fraternities.
Frittatas. Ooh, frittata.
Middle movie. Yeah, frittatas.
Middle movie.
Middle of the movie right now. So Megan is one of the fraternity girls, one of the sorority girls. I can't say sorority, and you can only say sorority. She starts getting threatening phone calls. They're calling the house on the house line, which is interesting because
shows the date of the movie.
And the guy's like, the person that's talking to her, he's like, "Get out of my house," blah blah. And you kind of have an idea of what's going on because they flash back to Billy, the antagonist. in his childhood. He lived in the house.
Yeah,
I mean, it's his house. Yeah, so like we already know that he escaped, the psych ward in a really cool way, and so he's calling the house and being a little crazy. Then what basically happens is Lauren finds Claire's body, and Megan is attacked in the attic. This guy likes the attic. When he lived in the house as a kid, he lived in the attic. His mom locked him in the attic. His mom is a terrible person. Dude. So locked him in the attic after he witnesses her kill his dad. Yeah. So he witnesses that and she locks him in the attic.
She's trash.
Right. So, and that's the thing is there's a lot of violence, and then his mom kills his dad. His mom, I don't know if she remarries, but she's got a person.
She has a new person,
guy.
Yeah.
And that guy is kind of lame, and she's kind of getting fed up with him, so she just sexually, and she goes up into the attic and just kind of,
abuses
just
her son.
Sits down on it. Yeah.
Sorry.
Excuse me. Forgive me. And it's a whole disturbing thing, right? This movie is kind of graphic. I wouldn't say in that way.
In a lot of different ways.
But in a lot of ways.
Because it's there's gore, there's really cool kills, but then it's also they really deal with a lot of wild subplots.
Right. And people start getting in the house, people start going missing. He's kind of doing that stealth thing where he's kind of picking them off one by one.
Yeah.
In different ways. And because they're kind of they're all over the house. One's too drunk to move, so she's in bed. The others are doing their own thing. Some of them are downstairs, some of them are upstairs, some of them are some of them are in the attic, looking for they're all spread out. This house is really big.
I was gonna say it's completely a big enough house to make that feasible. They're just all over the place, kind of doing their own things.
It doesn't feel unrealistic.
No,
not at all.
No.
And Megan has a boyfriend, Kyle. He apparently knows a little bit more history about Billy and the house and whatever.
He's from the town.
Right. So he's kind of giving them the rundown, of what's going on and how he basically he basically his mother sleeps with him and his mother gets pregnant. And it kind of it kind of alludes to it's his kid, not the guy's. And he attacks his daughter, his sister daughter. I don't know how else to describe that. Ugh. Yeah. And removes one of her eyes. He's a very violent guy. There's just no... And he likes, in the movie, I've noticed that, he likes eyeballs. He takes people's eyes all the time. And they don't spare you with that. He fucking pulls them right out of their head. It's just... oh, yeah. He pulls them, eats them. He's just a crazy guy. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's just... he's ridiculous.
He does some yucky stuff.
I'm going to read this one verbatim because you like how it is.
It's so funny. Yeah. I'm going to explain why I think
this is sorority sisters discover Eve's severed head and realize they are in danger.
So basically, I was typing up the different plot points of the movie, and I was just having a hard time trying to keep everybody straight and trying to type everything. So I ended up just taking the synopsis of the movie from IMDb, and I went over to ChatGPT and I said, "Can you summarize this movie and give me some bullet points?" And I put the entire synopsis in, and it just cooks out this fresh hell. And the only thing that sounds like it was written by a fucking robot was, they realize they are in danger. After they found 3 bodies.
6 of them are dead and missing.
Yeah, they're you know what?
The head's gone. They're ooh.
We might be in trouble,
should try
guys.
the cops.
We should try the police out, eh?
Yeah. Actually, that kind of brings me to the next point. They actually do try to call the police, but then the power goes out.
Well, they get through to the cops and they say it's going to be 2 hours.
Well, there's a blizzard.
Yeah.
That's a key thing here.
It's
there's
Christmas.
A huge blizzard going on, a winter storm.
There you go.
So, I knew, yeah. And the power goes out, so it just gets more violent and more intense, of course, because now they're just at a huge disadvantage. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Miss Mac and Heather are killed too. The remaining people try to survive. Yeah. I mean, this is something where... this just argues you got to ask the question, right? Like, so you got to ask that question of like, in this situation, like, really? So you're in this house with people, a good amount of people. I mean, well, not
I think at one
necessarily
point in
now,
time,
but
there was like 7 or 8 of them.
right.
altogether.
So you got a good amount of people. You know the house.
Yeah.
Well, not as well as Billy.
You know it enough.
But yeah.
It is your home at
And
this
this is something that I'm going to say too, is when Billy was a kid and he lived in the house, Billy was, he was like basically living in the walls.
Yeah.
So
he
like,
was in the attic and could get into
so
the walls.
he can get to basically most rooms of this house through the walls and through the attic.
Yeah.
So he has a serious understanding of the layout of this house.
Very true.
Like, huge advantage for him as well. That there's a blizzard outside. There's no, vehicle that can really make it through this at this point.
Yeah.
Granted, like, they've been in the house for hours and hours. The snow's not letting up, so it's just getting worse and worse.
Yep.
So, excuse me. What do you do? Do you stay inside? Do you take your chances in the tundra? Like, what would you do? And on top of that, it's like if you go out there, you got to have a plan. If you're going to rough it out in the snow, you got to have a serious plan, because who knows when the nearest place to really help you is. It's not like you could just go into someone's house and be like, help me. He would just go and kill those people too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But if you stayed in the house, you would certainly need a plan of attack.
Yeah.
Or defense. Either way. What say you on that?
So, funny enough, at first when we were talking about this question, I was like firm stance. I know exactly what I'm saying, but now I'm kind of 50-50. Mm-hmm. The first kind of idea I thought of, it's like, listen, we're all in this house. Shit's going wild. It's because we keep splitting up. It's because it's just like one
Safety
or two.
numbers.
It's picking, whoever this is picking us off. Excuse me. We need to find like a fucking formidable corner.
Yeah.
We all need to get weapons, even if they're not like swords and guns and all this shit. Like, get something where you can fucking hurt somebody.
Yeah.
And just all stay in one place.
Sure.
Stop moving around. Stay where you can protect yourselves and just be.
Right.
Because if it's like 6 against 1, 5 against 1, 4 against 1, you're going to be fine.
Right.
He will have to show himself. And then you're just like, we're
Someone
good here.
Someone will probably get hurt. One, but not
statistically
maimed,
speaking,
not necessarily killed.
But we're all here to back you up and we'll make sure
exactly.
you stay. The cops are coming. Like, we just fucking stay here.
Right.
And then when they're there, we get out there and say, listen, I'm gonna tell you everything you want to know. Get me the absolute fuck out of here.
Right.
Like, we gotta go.
Right.
But then the more I was thinking about it, I was like, listen, this guy obviously knows his house. It's his house.
Sure.
He kind of has the upper hand here.
100%.
He's killing all these people. Maybe we should try to come up with a way. Like, I mean, if this is a sorority house, there's going to be a line of sorority houses. There's going to be fraternity houses. There's going to be a lot of people around here. Agreed. Generally speaking, they're not out in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
Because it's a camp. It's close to campus.
It's a campus, yeah, for sure.
I would say, like, if we're here and we're like, listen, we're getting picked off like flies, everyone get your fucking jackets on. Be ready. Like, shoes mainly. We're leaving in like 2 minutes. And we are holding onto each other and we're walking single file as fast as we can.
Yeah.
And we're getting out of here. We're going to the next house we can and we're trying to like get power. We're trying to, hey, we got out of that fucking house. What it sounds like there, he's telling you to get out of the house. Get the fuck out of the house. Mm-hmm. Get everybody together. Get out. Go. It's kind of even.
Fair. Yeah, sure.
If I'm in my house and someone's terrorizing me in my house, good luck, pal. Yeah. I'm getting in my corner with my protective items. And I'm making sure that I'm set until somebody comes.
Right.
But if I need to get out of there, if I'm in somebody else's house, I'm leaving. I'm getting the fuck out of that situation.
Right,
I'm good. I'm out.
I agree with that. That's fair.
What do you have to say? Yeah, any specifics?
Okay, so it's tricky for me. And I would teeter on both. The first thing I would say is that my first option is to leave the house, of course.
Yeah.
Get out of the situation. Everything that you are taught, you want to get out of the situation. It's not, well, this is a movie, but in real life, it's not a movie.
No.
I'm not trying to be a hero. I'm not trying to be a macho man. I'm not trying to get in an altercation in any way if I can just leave.
If I can leave,
general.
I'm leaving.
Ew.
How is there a mosquito in here?
I don't know. So that's my first thing. But the problem with that is I would probably not... Well, this is what I would say. I would say that most of the time in real life, your plan A does not work the way that you think it's going to work.
Pretty much never. Yep.
So this is what I would say. My ideal and an ideal perfect world plan is that we bundle the hell up, get appropriate for it in case you have to stand outside for a decent amount of time.
Yeah.
You're going to be okay, right? I would basically, if we're going to get into details, what I would do is as a group, we would go to each person's room and we would all stay in that room until that person got ready.
Wise.
That person get ready, we'd go to the next one. We keep going. Same thing. Get any kind of weapon you can. Kitchen knives,
wooden
hammers,
spoon.
like anything you can get that you can really mess this dude up with.
Yeah.
If he engages you while you're getting ready to leave.
Support.
Yeah. That being said, we would try to leave. I would do the same thing as you, where I would try to go to the nearest place that had power or at least more people to help us defend each other.
Yeah.
But that being said, my backup plan, if that did not work out, because I would have to I wouldn't leave the house without a plan B.
Yeah.
That would not be something that would be smart, I don't think. So I would definitely have a plan B, and I would not put all my eggs in one basket. I would definitely be ready to go back to the house if need be. We're like, holy crap, no one has power. Or, these people aren't letting us in their house.
Yeah.
There's things like that too, right? And I think that I wouldn't go into the attic. I would probably go to the houses that has a basement.
Go in the basement.
Yeah, I would go into the basement because there's typically one entrance and exit there.
Yep.
If it didn't have a basement, then I would probably go into like the kitchen, and I would probably just stay into the kitchen because there's a lot of things in the kitchen that I can get a hold of that I can really hurt somebody with, most likely. And I would do that. But again, safety in numbers. I would have a group of us there. I would have a plan in place. The thing is that like what I think about, because I'm an overthinker, is like this person in the house has already like shown you that they have no problem like violently killing people.
Yeah.
You don't know if you're prepared to do that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. So like that's a different situation. So what I would do is if I had like 6 people with me, I'd be like, who is okay with doing this? Who actually will be okay with this when it happens?
Yeah.
Or are you going to run away?
Yeah.
Because there are going to be people that are going to get scared and they're just going to panic. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're just going to
True.
run. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
of course. So you're going to have to account for all these things. Like, I'm going to have to account for, like, okay, the runners. I'm going to have to account for, like, probably one person that's okay with actually engaging this person and possibly getting maimed a little bit.
Yeah.
Because, you know what I mean? That's something, again,
Statistically
who is
speaking.
going to be really willing to do that, right? Like,
Yeah.
you got to ask yourself those kind of things. So, like, I would say, like, that's one of those situations where, like, who has the most, let's say, and it's hard with, like, a sorority, but, like, with me, because I'm not a girl, I'm like, who has the most training to
Yeah.
deal with this? Who is
Yeah.
the strongest person here? Who is the fittest? Who has the most stamina?
Yeah.
Who has the most who has the highest possibility of overpowering this person without getting maimed too much, where we're going to have to worry about an ambulance taking 2 hours to get there to stop the bleeding or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I would want to talk it out a little bit if we had time. You know what I mean? That's what's tricky. But in the movie, he's not really picking them up very quickly.
Yeah.
Like,
it's
it takes
taking a
time.
minute.
Yeah. And it's only, I agree, it's only really like that because they keep separating.
Yeah.
So, like, of course, it would be a lot easier, right, to do that. You know, I would still call the police. I would wait that 2 hours for backup. I would explain everything that's going on so that at least they brought an appropriate amount of officers there or equipment or whatever they're going to bring. And I would lock down. But I would say that, like, that would be something to think about for people listening to is, like, what are you prepared to do?
Exactly.
What do you think you actually could do, too? Like, that's the thing. It's like a lot of people will be like, oh, I messed that dude up. But they're going to hightail and run because they're human and they have fight or flight, right? Like, so, like,
Exactly.
it's just how it is. So, and I would also, that being said, really quick, when I said that, like, I would pick something to hurt this person with, I would try to pick the thing that gives me the most distance away from this person. A kitchen knife is great. I would keep it on me if he got close to me, but I would go for bats. I would go for golf clubs, like any
pitchforks.
Yeah, a rolling pin, something
fishing
that I
rod.
can, like, get him away from me. A fishing rod,
A sweeping broom.
a broom. I would break the
A
broom
tree
off and use the
limb.
handle. Yeah, something that I would get. But again, things to think about, right? So, like, you don't want this person getting involved. He definitely, I feel like in the movie, we'll get into it more, but he tends to stab people. Like, he tends to use a
He's
blade or
close
something
contact
sharp.
work.
Or
Yeah,
for
dude.
sure. Like, no way. Like, I'm not getting anywhere near that guy.
Stay over there.
You know, yeah. So that's what I would say.
Yeah, I fully support that.
That's my long-winded answer.
Hey, totally good.
You know.
Well, push comes to shove, we're getting into the climax of the movie here. Basically, it's down to like 2 people.
Sure. Yeah.
It's getting rough. So they're like, you know what? Fuck this. We're going to fucking figure this out. So they end up going up in the attic, and they are confronted not by Billy, but by Agnes.
Angus.
By Angus meat. Billy's daughter sister.
Yes. Who's huge.
She's fucking massive.
Played by a man.
And they don't do a good job at just kind of keeping
like
it secret. Dude, she's a linebacker, dude.
It is.
It is wild. So basically, altercation here, there, everywhere, yada, yada. They end up falling into the fucking walls, which is honestly my favorite part of the movie, is when they fall down the wall.
Scary.
It's like the scene from The Matrix where they're
gross.
like climbing through the wall.
Claustrophobic.
So gross.
Yeah.
So gross. And they're like not prepared for this.
Yeah.
They basically, they get out. I'm losing my place a little bit here. I'm kind of getting, Agnes. Yeah. Agnes, and we're back. They basically get out of the house. They just fucking get away. They get to the hospital, and they're like, okay, we're fine. Everything's fine. Everything's great. While they're in the hospital, you said that woman's name is Lee?
Lee. Yep. The only reason I know that is because I had to we had to write down all of Nev's family members' names, and she spelled that name to me, and I was like, how do you pronounce that? And she says Lee. And I was like, okay, fine.
I take that as biblical law.
It does seem right, yeah.
I mean, I was like,
silly way to word
leggy,
silly way to
leg
to spell that name, but
leg.
Poor kid.
Basically, they get to the hospital. Of course, it's a horror movie. Yeah. Agnes shows up
in the ceiling. They're still in the walls. And the ceiling at the hospital.
It's where they feel safe.
Yeah, but how the hell do they know the layout of the damn hospital? I don't get it.
Your guess is as good as mine, Scooby-Doo. Basically, they end up having an altercation.
Yeah.
Agnes kills Lei Yi.
Yeah.
Kelly, being a bad bitch, she ends up electrocuting Agnes with a fucking defibrillator to the face.
In the face.
Which, like, for a second, I was like, no way, that wouldn't work. She said, we're turning this up as high as it goes. I think it was like 300 or something. I don't know what that means. I'm not a doctor. Zaps that bitch in the face, takes her linebacker ass out.
She does, and the cool thing about the gore in this movie is on point.
Very believable.
Because when she takes the panels off, like, her face is burnt to hell, dude.
Yeah.
It's like, it would definitely do that to you, and I feel like it was pretty intense.
That would be tough. I mean, I've never been defibrillated, but I've heard it does hurt.
I feel like
shooting electricity in you.
I actually did. I asked Nev about that. It would burn you no matter what. It burns you no matter what. Yeah, like so.
Well, and that's why they always say clear is to get off, because that will transfer to you. Bodies love conducting electricity.
True.
Excuse me. Basically, literally, the second Agnes dies, there's Billy's creepy ass climbing down through the ceiling again.
Yeah.
Starts chasing after Kelly.
His yellow ass.
We haven't fucking mentioned that. He has a liver disease and he's yellow.
He's like yellow.
It's so weird. He's like bright yellow, like Oompa Loompa yellow.
Yeah, he's yellow.
Even though Oompa Loompas are orange.
But he's saturated in yellow. That's what I would say.
He's saturated.
Yeah.
He looked like he full of pith. Billy appears, attacks Kelly. They have this annoying ass hallway scene where he's going to get her and she's like, no. They end up running away. They have an altercation at a stairwell. Somehow Kelly finally finds her fucking footing and just throws Billy over the railing. And in true Christmas fashion, Billy lands on a fucking Christmas tree, gets impaled, and dies.
There's like a metal point on the top of the Christmas tree instead of a star.
Of course.
It goes right through.
Right.
The tree's integrity stayed intact.
Dude, that's
a real tree. That's a real tree. That's not a fake tree. A fake tree couldn't.
No fake tree could kill Billy the kid. What's his last name?
Billy Bones.
Billy Lenz. Ryan Lenz.
Hey.
It was close.
Yeah.
Credits roll, and it's done.
Yeah.
Ta-da!
That's it.
Fucking wild, dude.
It's wild.
Like,
it's worth it, though. It's worth it.
Yeah, I remember watching it and like, oh my god, they're at the hospital. Thank God. And they're like, nope, you still got like 20 minutes in the movie.
It reminds me of like the collector when he's like in the ambulance.
You think
and
you're like,
oh, thank God. And then it's like, no, definitely not.
No way. This is where it just gets started.
Yeah, that's
it's
great
wild.
Movie.
But yeah, dude, great movie.
Fantastic.
Kind of a couple summary questions just to get us through. Stop looking at my tattoos, dude. They're for me. They're not for you.
I'm not.
You've been staring at my tattoos this entire night.
You think I am interested in that?
Oh, I know you're interested in it. I know you only have like 2 or 3, but I'm addicted.
They're just
to
not
ink.
for me.
I wish they weren't.
They're not for me.
You know, you would look a lot prettier if you didn't have all those tattoos.
And if I smiled more, probably.
You should probably smile more. Oh my
But I
God.
didn't scowl as much.
So, with all the other colorful entrants in this movie, something that kind of gets brought up, and it's something that kind of got brought to our attention. Do you, Chase Suarez, in the year of our Lord 2023, do you think that Billy and Agnes should have been arrested and gone to prison? Or do you think that they really belonged in like a rehabilitation center? Do you think they had the chance of being rehabilitated? Or do you think that prison should be rehabilitating them?
I don't think prison rehabilitates anybody, in my personal opinion.
To be completely honest.
If you treat somebody like an animal for long enough, they're going to act like one.
Exactly.
But I'm not against prison. That's not what I'm saying either.
There
I think
needs to be
certain
some
people do belong in
separation.
prison. Yeah. So I would say
definitely.
this. I would say that Billy, because of his actions before and after, he doesn't belong in a hospital because he's shown that he will not stop being violent. He belongs in prison to me.
Yeah.
He might have mental illness. He might have that. I would say that a lot of people in prison do, though.
Yeah.
If they show countless acts of violence, though, over a course of like a certain amount of time,
It's a safety issue, dude.
yeah, like he doesn't belong in a hospital because some of the people in the hospital are quite docile.
Yeah.
So like I wouldn't say that that would be fair. I feel like he should be in a maximum security prison.
For sure.
That being said, I think Agnes should be in a hospital because Agnes is a product of incest. Agnes is like,
so many cards against her.
yeah,
dude.
like, and I think if Agnes was not influenced by Billy later, possibly has a chance of rehabilitation, it would be a lot of work.
Yeah.
It'd be a lot of work. But technically, before this, Agnes never killed anybody.
Yeah.
Agnes wasn't violent. Agnes didn't do anything like that. Agnes was a victim in many ways.
A victim of her.
So, yeah. So to me, it's like Billy is a product of his environment, but Billy is a violent person.
He was
So,
a
like,
violent
yeah, you know what I'm
person that
saying? So,
was
like-
only aggravated more by his environment
Right.
and by his situation.
And
yeah.
he's violent. Like, it's not like he's violent because, certain things trigger him, or he's like, it's unwarranted. There's no real. He's just violent to be violent. You know what I'm saying? And we'll get into this with another question, but basically, like, he statistically kills people. It's not like he's just like shooting somebody and moving on.
It's not quick
He's-
and heartless. It's like
it's quite thought out. It's quite personal. It's quite creative. You know what I mean? Like that's different to me. You know what I'm saying? He is like a spree killer. You know,
Oh, yeah.
That's basically what he really
I think
is.
they talk about
so.
that in the movie too.
Yeah.
He's not a serial killer, he's a spree killer. He just kills anyone that's
He just,
around him.
yeah, he's just like a juggernaut. Like he just is like going and kind of doing it. So I think Agnes has possibly the potential earlier on to be rehabilitated. I don't think Billy ever should have been in a hospital to begin with.
True.
That's what I would say. What about you?
True. Honestly, I couldn't have said it better. I agree with you. There are certain instances where, like, you know what, this person really just like has all the cards against them. They really need help and they need to go through this. And I think they could respond to that.
Sure.
I think Angus Meat definitely could have done that, but Billy, dude, like too far gone.
No, dude. He's
The amount of years that he went through that trauma and the amount of just violence that he had in his heart before all this went down. It's just like you can't.
he's angry. You know, like
Soy.
so like it's not.
There's
like,
not really anything that you can like do at that point.
No, it's not like Billy's going to be talking to a psychiatrist. Like he's unwilling. Like that's not a thing.
He's nonverbal, dude.
yeah.
Agnes even has lines. Billy's not
I
fucking
forgot
talking.
that he is nonverbal.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
I don't think he is like. I don't think it's a character trait, but he literally has no lines. He doesn't say anything.
He doesn't need to.
Yeah.
Actions speak louder than words.
Spooky scurry. Spooky
You know?
scurry.
Yeah.
Well, then, yeah, I definitely, I agree with that. But, I mean, that being said, the violent acts of Billy Lenz, what would you say is your favorite kill of the movie? Not necessarily just by Billy, but by Angus and by Kelly, all the murders in the movie.
Of course.
What's your favorite one? Because
It's-
I have mine. It was very quick.
Mine is quick because I go with the most creative, festive. Most creative, festive for me is killing his mother.
Same.
It's just two. I have two. So like this.
Okay.
So that one is definitely like my top tier because I've never seen anything like that before.
What exactly happens when he kills
So
his mom?
he essentially at first what he does. Okay, so shit hits the fan at his house
Yeah.
when he, his mom's obviously still alive. stuff hits of him, and he eventually just loses it. I mean, like, he's just, full of rage. So basically what he does, again, this is what's interesting too, because he kills his mom in many different festive ways at one time. The first is that he starts strangling her with Christmas tree lights.
Perfect.
So he's strangling her. I know it sounds gross, but it takes a long time to strangle somebody. It's not like it's like,
dude,
it doesn't take a minute. You know what I'm saying? Like, it takes way longer.
Well, because you can hold your breath for 3 minutes.
Well, and they'll pass out first, right? So, like,
yeah, you got to keep going.
So he's strangling her, and she passes out. He drags her into the kitchen, beats her to death with a rolling pin. Like, beats her to death with it. Like, he just beats the crap out of her. I mean, like, Then, it's so funny because you're like, oh God, that was just so awful. And then she's in a robe, I believe. She's on the ground at her stomach. Ooh, excuse me. 10 o'clock at night.
It is. Oh my God.
He pulls her robe down off of her back, grabs the first thing he can in the kitchen, which is a cookie cutter.
Christmas cookie cutter.
Yeah. And he sticks it under her back and moves it around, and it's really gross. And then he peels her skin off. He puts it on a baking sheet. A bunch of them. I think he does like 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah.
And then the cool thing about that scene is I like the way it's shot because he does that, it shows that, and then it flashes to the police at his door responding, walking into the kitchen. He's calm. This is another thing why he doesn't belong in a hospital. So he's sitting there calmly at the table,
calm as a cucumber,
dipping his quote unquote cookies in milk and chewing these things, and they're like jerky.
It's leather.
He's just chewing them, and it's a gross scene. And I think it's a good scene because of all the colors. His face is really yellow.
Yep.
The milk is super white. He's chewing, and his teeth are not nice. Ugh. He's chewing it. The milk's running down his, mouth. He's chugging on this meat. Like, it's a really disturbing thing. Yeah, like, it's pretty disturbing, but pretty artistic in that sense,
it's
right?
Very well shot.
Yeah, so it's really cool.
That's my favorite for sure.
It's great. It's a great kill. Like, it's like 100%. It's a sweet kill, like, for sure, right? Like, I think that's definitely fair. The other thing I would say though is that, like, the other kill that I do enjoy really is the first kill, which is how he escapes the hospital. Yeah, because what happens is it flashes to him sitting in his chair in his, let's say his cell, and he is sucking on a candy cane. So it's like already puts you in that holiday thing. Yeah. He's sucking on a candy cane, but he's sucking the tip of it so that it gets super sharp, like a pointy, impalement item.
I mean, what else do you do with the candy cane?
Yeah. And then he just drives it into the side of the neck of the guard. And on top of that, he does that and breaks it off into his neck. So it's just, again, like, there's a plenty of holiday kills in this movie. I would encourage you to watch it if you haven't. But those are my top tier.
It's really great.
The cookie one I've never seen ever. It'll probably never be done again because it would be a complete ripoff. Yeah. Which is awesome. That's such a cool thing. So that's what I would say. Yeah. That's
great.
And we're in agreement there?
You are definitely in agreement with
this movie is worth a watch. I watch this movie year round. I don't necessarily...
It's a horror movie, first and foremost, but it's just very conveniently also set on Christmas Eve. So
yeah, and if you're just kind of if you are a Christmas person and you watch Christmas movies during Christmas time, if you just want to break it up a little bit and you don't want that like happy-go-lucky,
it's a
typical,
lot of happiness.
it's which is cool, but this is like also it's really a fun movie. I mean, it sounds terrible the way we're describing it in a sense, but it's really entertaining. It's really artistic. It's well shot. It doesn't drag at all. Like
there's no
it starts
parts.
fast.
It's just running.
Yeah, and it honestly they do a really good job of like informing you like of the past of this guy, like in the present and how he gets out of this place, and it just kind of keeps building this up as things are still happening, which is really cool.
Definitely.
So I would highly recommend it.
It's a great one.
It's a good movie. Really it's a good movie. It's good to own.
I mean, obviously, when we were planning out these podcasts, we knew we had to do like a holiday horror. We are both very big fans of horror. I'm glad we were doing this. But next week, we are getting back to the happy-go-lucky. We're getting to one of my favorite Christmas movies, one of my favorite childhood Christmas movies. And that movie that we are watching next week is The Santa Claus.
With Tim Allen, baby.
With Timothy
Also from
Allen.
Michigan. Woo!
Very true. Very true.
Yep.
It's a great movie. It's an incredible movie. Very funny.
Bernard steals the show.
Bernard is an incredible character, and girl, his curls do not quit, sis.
I know. Bernard is
Ringlets.
he's the real deal.
Ringlets.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for it. I hope all y'all watch the movie. We got, we're telling you a week early. It's going to be tricky. Next week is Christmas. It is going to be Christmas Day a week from today, so that is just kind of wild. This is just flying by. It's crazy.
It is.
Hope you guys got all your Christmas shopping done. I'm almost done.
I'm almost done too. Yeah. I got ahead of the
Spooky
game this
scary.
year, which I'm really happy that I did because I
Honestly,
don't feel
I
as
did too.
rushed. And now all my presents are wrapped too. Like I feel like I'm totally like I have 2 weeks.
I wrapped day before.
Yeah.
You have 1 week.
I have 1 week. But everything's already done, basically.
Child's play.
Child play.
Drive
Drive
by. Yeah, I'm really excited for next week's movie. It's gonna be
It's gonna be great. I love that movie. It's fantastic. Popo Shisho.
Oh my god,
I
so
love
good.
it.
All right, before we just quote the entire movie, any last comments, concerns, remarks, anything?
No, I think I'm satisfied.
Lovely. Well, everybody, before we say goodnight, stay tuned. We're gonna be answering. Yeah, it's my stomach. Okay, I'm not perfect.
That's what it sounded like just now. It said Bjorn.
These microphones are really good. They wouldn't have picked it up, but thank you.
It was.
Thank
Trust
you.
me, guys.
Thank you for
it
involving
was
everybody.
pretty loud.
It was fucking disgusting. Stay tuned. We have another audio submission from a longtime beautiful fan of the pod, our fave. With that, good evening, good morning, good night, blah, 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 blah.
Yes.
Okay, bye.
Happy Christmas.
Don't yank your hand out of my hand like you don't want to do this.
I don't want to.
Alrighty, y'all, we're back. We have another submission from the man, the myth, the legend, Gerard. I'm so excited. We got this one immediately after the other one. I had to have it sitting in my inbox for so long. We haven't listened to it yet. It's 34 seconder. Are you ready?
All right, let's do it.
I'm going to turn it up a little bit more.
Turn it all the way up.
I'm so scared. Here we go.
All right, yo, what up? Grace and Jen, my favorite.
Stop
You
it.
guys are doing well this week, and you're looking dapper as ever. I have to say it.
Babe.
But I'm coming at you guys with a holiday-spirited question this week.
Perfect.
Yes.
I want to know, what is your favorite gift that you've received from the other guy? It doesn't have to be for Christmas per se. It could be a birthday or whatever. But just coming at you guys with some wholesome positivity this week.
Love it.
I want to know, what's your favorite gift that you've received from the other guy?
Love
Thanks
it.
again.
Gerard.
He's got good questions.
Beautiful soul.
Yeah, I look forward to his questions.
I have to
Yeah.
apologize from last week for calling out Gerard for his fucking blinker. I said that. He listened to it and he immediately messaged me. He's like, "Why'd you have to call me out?" I was like, "Listen, man, I heard it. I had to."
Oh, man.
That is so funny. I love that so much.
Ooh, that's tricky.
What's your favorite gift I've ever bought you? Because I immediately knew what mine is.
I thought mine...
Actually, it's a tie between
let me
two.
think.
Tie between three.
3. I am a good gift giver. That is
Okay,
true.
turn it
Yeah,
on.
that is true.
Yes.
You go first so I can
Okay, cool.
process everything, please.
So my tie of 3. We've talked about one of these gifts before, and we were talking about it during our toys episode. It is my Darth Maul replica lightsaber.
Oh,
I
yeah, that's
fucking love
tops.
it.
Yeah.
So much. It's so
tops.
sick. I actually asked for a display stand for it for Christmas this year because I want it up on my shelves nicer. It's so sick. It's so much fun. I love it so much.
I'm glad
it's
you like
definitely starting like an obsession of collecting lightsabers now. All I
Sure.
want to do is buy more lightsabers.
Yeah.
And it is taking every bit of me not buying more. I was like, oh, I have extra money this week. Lightsaber. No. It's great because I get to live vicariously through Casey, who just bought a lightsaber, and it's coming
yeah.
very soon. I'm so excited to play it.
Oh,
Play
he hasn't received it yet?
No, it's taking 5.
They take a
ever to come
minute
over.
to come.
Yeah, dude,
Yours
it's
can't
scary.
like a minute. Yeah.
It's scary. I love that. My last birthday, or I think it was last Christmas, you got me the Darth Maul pop figure. That's a part of the Phantom Menace. So I had Obi-Wan, Darth Maul, and Qui-Gon all together.
For sure.
You bought me Darth Maul, and I immediately bought Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon so I could have all 3 of them.
I think I bought it and I didn't realize like heavy
Yeah.
pieces at
Well, it's a sick
Yeah.
figure by itself,
It is
but then
cool,
I was like,
yeah.
wait, other ones come together and they all fit together and they're fighting. I immediately bought them. They're on display together. I love them all together. It's super sick.
Okay.
And then my other one, I think it was like the first birthday gift you ever bought me. It is my folding karambit from
That's funny. Okay. I was gonna say
Cricut
something.
knives.
Okay, cool.
CRKT knives. I freaking love that knife. I don't carry it very often.
Yeah.
But I love it so much.
It's
The
a cool knife.
action feels so good. I love the karambit style.
Yeah.
That would be like, I love my microtex. My microtex are definitely my like daily carry.
Sure.
But like, if I was like, the house is on fire, I gotta grab all my shit, that karambit is coming with me.
For
It is
sure. It's a nice knife.
It's such a nice knife, and it's so like what I'm trying to say, it can do a lot of stuff. It's versatile. It's a very versatile knife. It's not the coolest knife to like pull out of your pocket and open a package while you're at work, so I tend to not carry it like that. But I mean, neither. I mean, I'm not gonna take it out of my pocket. But neither is the knife that I carry all the time either. But I try to be low key about it. But yeah, dude, I love that knife, and that was one of like the first things you bought me. I want it like tattooed on my body so badly.
Oh,
It's
for
so
Pete's
sick.
sake.
Rolex.
Rolex. Okay. I have
What'd I get you,
two
baby?
like main ones that I like the most.
Two of them. Who else is a great gift giver?
My first one, of course, is the Big Frank.
That was like,
The Big
I
Frank.
was so pumped about
the
that.
thing about the Big Frank, though, is not only is it obviously nostalgic, it was one of my favorite toys as a kid.
Oh yeah,
But also it works.
Yeah.
Which is like,
dude, it worked out of the
it
box,
works,
bitch.
and it's functional, and it has all its original tools.
Yeah.
And it's like not even like the paint isn't even cut.
No.
Like it's like in pristine
I
condition.
searched for that.
Yeah,
one.
it's in pristine
I had
condition.
to go through a little bit. I had to find that one.
So
for
I
sure.
would say that's probably my ultimate one, because that was something that I was super stoked when I got it, but it's also like displayed in my bedroom,
Literally.
and I look at it all the time. So like it's cool.
Yeah.
And every so often I'll bring it down. So like I definitely
Yeah.
like to play with it still, which is cool. My second one,
Really quick before that, if you guys want to see that, you can check out our episode about the movie Toys.
Oh yeah, I did. I
It's
had
one
it
of
on
our
there.
it's one of our earlier episodes. It's a great movie, great podcast. Check it out.
movie
If you
was
watch
cool.
the video, you get to see my lightsaber and your Big Frank.
Oh yeah. And my second one is ironically the knife that you got me for my birthday.
That was the same year. That
which
was our
is
knife birthday.
It was our knife birthday. And
Yeah.
it's a Microtech, but it's huge.
It's a folding microtech.
It's an
not
automatic
OTF.
folding knife.
Dude,
Yeah,
I love
and
that
it's-
knife is scary.
It's gigantic.
It's so much fun.
sweet. That's my backpack knife. I keep that in my EDC backpack.
As I would use
Yeah.
my karambit. Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
it's like my if shit's hitting the fan, I don't want a little knife. Like I'm trying to really get nasty
You kn-
here. That's the knife.
Dude, you
same exact thing though. I can't open a box of that damn thing. It's just
No.
it's too crazy.
that kind of knife is a knife where you can pop that open, put it into like a younger tree, and use a branch to like cut that tree down easily.
It's legit. Like it's a
It's
really
so
dope
mean.
knife. Yeah, and it's like so like sturdy. Like that knife is like
will never
it
fail
is
you.
a beast knife. Yeah, like so I would say that those are my top two. I would also say this is like a honorary mention. I really enjoy all the gifts you get from me when you're on vacation. Those are my
I'm very proud of my vacation gift.
I know a lot of people don't know this, and Gerard does not either.
Gerard.
But I expect
Oh yeah.
if I'm on vacation, this is something that everybody that should be listening to. My brother also will vouch for me on this. Like when you go on vacation, like there's that mosquito. It's right.
Bitch.
Struck it out of the sky like a lightning bolt.
I'm so sorry for everyone just listening to this, but I was
Yeah.
proud.
But
Death on my hands.
I think that it's only right when you are on vacation to give somebody something vacation related. Like
Yeah.
you don't have I don't want anything that you would get me normally. I'm saying like if you're in Texas, I want a Texas magnet.
Yeah.
I want a Texas t-shirt, which I do have.
Well, did I get you the Texas t-shirt? Yeah,
You did.
no,
and you got me a magnet.
I
But yeah,
try to
yeah,
get you shit from the
It has to-
airport.
I like it saying what it
Yeah,
because
because I've got you.
know what
I
I
got
mean?
you
Like-
that like Minnesota magnet. That's like the plaid, which I love.
You got me the bottle opener
Bottle
one
opener
too,
as
which
well,
I
yeah.
really like that one because
Yeah.
it's like a fish and it's a
It's
bottle
cool,
opener.
yeah.
Yeah, like things like that. I really like shit like that.
I like doing that. So.
And I love magnets.
Yeah.
For everybody, I have a lot of magnets on my fridge, and they're all.
You got me
top
started. You got me started.
I
on
did,
collecting
yes,
magnets.
yeah.
Fridge magnets.
Magnets are great. Yeah, like they really
very
are,
cool.
and they're useful, so it's cool. But yeah, so I really enjoy those gifts a lot.
for sure.
So that would definitely be another one I would say.
Yeah. No, it's good.
Yeah.
Gerard, killing it. I like that we keep calling him Gerard.
It's kind of exotic and sexy.
I'm a fan of it, just like him.
He is, yeah.
Come on
he's
now.
a good kid. I like him a lot.
Again, just as a reminder, if you guys are trying to be as cool as Gerard, you should send us audio submissions on our Instagram. I generally message back and say, thank you so much. We're going to say this for next time we record.
We don't open them. Like,
No.
we don't know. Like,
No.
that's why we say we're going to save it to the next episode. We don't even open it till we're, like,
Sitting down and
sitting
recording.
down doing
Yeah.
it. So I had no idea what he was going to ask because
Yeah.
I like being on the spot like that.
I do
Yeah.
too. And he
Yeah.
does a great job of putting us on the spot.
He does, yeah.
There's 2 episodes left. I'm not opposed to doing multiple submissions in one episode. So definitely, after we finish this season, there's going to be a little bit of a break. We don't want to talk about sadness too fast. But I think, honestly, if we get enough submissions, we could even have just a submission-filled episode. I think
we
that'd be
can.
really, really fun. We could build them up and make that episode. I think it'd be really cool.
You want any advice? You want any troubleshooting? Hit us
Yeah.
up.
We are... I often say I'm a problem solver.
True.
And I'm
You're
pretty
at
good
advice.
at it. I'm pretty good at, like, you got an issue, I'm going to figure our way out of it. I got it.
You got an
always.
issue? Here's a tissue. Boom. Done like that. All right.
Bing, bang, boom. But yeah, follow us on Instagram. Send us the submissions on Instagram. It is at The Dish with Chase and Ben. All one word, no spaces, no capitals, no nothing, even though that literally doesn't count. But yeah, just send us your submissions. We'll talk about them. We'll have a blast like we do with Gerard's. It is...
TPT.
It's 10:30. We have to go to bed. Thank you so much, Gerard. Thank you for everyone else for submitting them. Good night.
Good night.
Boop.